To all who listen to this happy pod, welcome. My name is Noah Parker, and this is my world of wonder. You'll notice sitting across from me today is, in fact, not Sophie. It is Adriana, my beautiful wife.
Hello.
That is because Sophie actually had to cancel. She had a family emergency that she had to attend to, so we are keeping her in our thoughts and prayers. And we'll get her on the show eventually. So in the meantime, Adriana and I, after some scrambling and panicking, honestly, a little bit, have decided to sit down today and talk about our first trips to Walt Disney World.
From memory.
From memory, yes. So basically,
there'll probably be a lot of back and forth, honestly.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of like, oh yeah, well, yeah.
But.
So we're going to talk about our independent first trips as children. And then we're going to go into our first trip as a couple a little bit too, because between my first trip and our honeymoon, I became something of a Disney expert. Not really, but just the way that I approach the parks changed significantly from the first trip until, was it 15, 16 years later?
Yeah, probably.
Because we went in 2022 for our honeymoon.
Yeah. And
my first trip was in 2005.
Wow.
So that's 17 years. 17 years had gone by. And yeah, so there's a lot of things that I picked up on over the years, and yeah, we tackle the park very differently. And then your first trip was probably around the same time, roughly, right? Like,
yeah,
I was 7 maybe.
I was probably like around 7, 8.
Yeah.
years old. So yeah, I think it was, what year would that be then?
07, 08.
Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, do you want me to just go ahead and, or?
Oh yeah, because that was kind of the first thing. How old were we when we first visited?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I was 7.
Yeah, and I think I was. No, it was in 2005.
I believe I was 7.
So I was about 7. No, I was 8.
Okay.
Pushing 9. Actually, I don't remember because I can't actually tell you when we went in 2005.
I know. Okay,
I'm pretty sure it was. I have no idea, honestly, when it was. I can't remember. Mom, I know you're watching. Please tell me what month it was, because I cannot remember for the life of me.
That's funny.
My assumption is that it was August, September.
Okay.
Area.
Yeah.
It might have been even later than that, but I don't remember. So, yes. I don't think I can stretch that on for 5 minutes. I don't know what I was thinking.
Okay.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to let Adriana kind of take the floor, and we'll bounce back and forth a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll interject here and there, but she's going to basically talk about her first trip that she remembers to Walt Disney World.
Yeah, it was a very exciting time. I remember taking the plane ride there. We went to Florida, Orlando, obviously, and we spent a couple days in Disney World. And I remember like getting there and spending time in our hotel, kind of a lot, which was sucky for like a kid.
Yeah, because you want to go play.
Yeah, you want to like go do
be
things.
At the park and have fun.
But like the old people want to just like chill and relax, I guess. I don't know. But so I remember, I think we stayed at it's gone now, but the hotel that was like the Mickey Sorcerer's Hat one. What's it called? Where there was like a Sorcerer's Hat hotel. Is that what it was? The hat with the stars on them?
If you're talking about what I think you're talking about the Sorcerer's Hat in Hollywood Studios, and that was not a hotel.
Wait, what?
Am
I crazy then?
Let me find out, because I don't know.
Or like I thought it was a hotel. Or
if
like
it
a bucket.
is, then I don't know if it's
Or like maybe it was the like bucket
a bucket.
with the like it was in the Sorcerer's Stone. The bucket with like the broom, the walking broom, and like they held the buckets.
They were there, perhaps.
I thought so, but maybe I'm just imagining things.
Hold on, let me think about this. All-Star movies, maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
It doesn't.
Or maybe it was
mean,
not Pixar. Why did I say Pixar?
no.
I don't know. I thought it was maybe it wasn't.
Okay. Yeah, maybe All-Star. It might have been All-Star movies.
Oh, okay.
I would turn around my computer and show you, but there is like a building there with like the broom with the buckets, and there's a sorcerer Mickey. Is that still existing? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's still there.
Okay, then yeah, I think that's where we went.
That's interesting because like, well, I guess I don't know. Knowing your family, like that's that's like a value resort, so it's like one of the cheapest.
Yeah,
hotels.
We're cheap.
I don't know. It
my family, like, no, my family, babe, they're cheap.
Fair enough.
It's like
fair enough.
Yeah, so
it's a good hotel though. Like,
yeah,
I think I stayed there one time.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I remember also just like the castle. It was definitely not the castle that's like in Magic Kingdom. The castle that is there now, because they update it obviously like throughout the generation or throughout the years. I mean, and stuff.
They've only really painted it.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's the same castle.
Okay, but I think the castle that I saw was like light blue and white. If I recall, I don't know. That's what I'm just going back from my 7-year-old memory.
Yeah, it's like a bluish gray.
Oh, okay.
Is what it was. Yeah.
So I remember that castle, and I also remember seeing just a lot of shows and lots of parades. Like I think I did see a show of like Mickey and Minnie and their friends, all of them, just like singing their hearts out and like kind of doing like a little show in front of the castle. Mm-hmm. I think we saw that. Yeah. And that was cool. I really liked that as a kid, and the crowd was a lot though.
Yeah. I don't think, and they've only gotten worse since then.
Yeah. So like, I feel like it'd be kind of stressful, honestly, as a kid nowadays. Because like, I mean, you can't see, like all the kids now have to be on top of the like parents' shoulders, right, in order to see things now. But yeah, that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. And parades. Yeah, I remember seeing a lot of parades. My parents were so into the parades. They were like, we gotta see every single one. It fair. Felt like and I just remember the parades being more like there wasn't as many floats, I feel like. Okay. Or like animatronics and stuff. Like I feel like there was more just like people in costumes walking around and going. It was more interactive, I feel like. I mean, I guess it's still interactive now, but I feel like maybe it was a little more interactive back then. Like characters would like go up to like the kids or like the parents, you know, and like wave at them, or like they would stop and like take pictures with them. They had time to like stop and take pictures with them and then like keep walking, you know. Right. I don't know if they still do that now. I mean, but
I think they're starting to more now, but like the last 2 times you've gone, well, the last time you went to Disney was only 2 years out of the pandemic, and there were still a few like pandemic rules in place, so a lot of that stuff still wasn't really a thing. Okay. I think a lot of it's way more relaxed now, especially in Disneyland. Like when we went to Disneyland, there was a lot of the characters walking up to you, or you get to go really close up to them, and
that was cool.
Yeah, that's super fun.
Yeah, it is really fun, especially as a kid, you know, like you're like get all excited. But I feel like when I was a kid though, I was kind of more shy and scared of them like coming up to me.
That's fair. I mean,
So
it's kind of scary,
yeah, I don't know, like they're big, they're
Yeah.
tall, some of them, when you're a kid anyway. And I remember one specific part that's just always like been engraved in my head as a kid,
Uh-huh.
because we were in a parade and my brother was, just having a good time in his stroller, and Jafar, the character from Aladdin, comes up, and my brother, like, he got so scared. He
That's so
started
funny.
crying. Like, he started, like, yelling, crying.
Oh,
And,
jeez.
like, yeah. And my dad was just laughing.
That sounds like your dad.
He was laughing so hard at my brother just being so, like, sad and,
Yeah.
like, crying and just scared. I think we took a picture with him.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like I was just kind of like awkwardly like just taking a picture, but my brother didn't take a picture obviously, but
Right.
my dad was like, go take a picture, go take a picture.
Yeah.
But that was funny. And I also remember these just like more shows of like in like Hollywood studios of like Indiana Jones. Specifically, my dad was also really into that, and he really wanted to make sure like that we saw that show, and so
that's a good one to go see.
and I remember just like thinking it was real, like all those stunts. Like as a kid, I'd be like, my mouth would just drop. I'd be like,
Yeah.
And it was, I was like, wait, what? And all the fire, all the like, the cool tricks. It was really cool. Really liked it.
That's awesome.
And I don't remember meeting that many princesses. I feel like I might have met some.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't have as broad, like when we went, they had the meet a princess thing. That wasn't a thing a while back. So
I didn't know that.
you might have gotten a chance to meet Cinderella, but it was like,
I don't know.
they probably didn't have a whole lot of princesses around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe it was just like she was like walking around and we took a picture with her or something.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't really remember much about like meeting princesses or anything. So, and I think I was again like too shy to like go up to them.
I mean, so yeah, understandably so.
As a kid. So, but yeah, that's all I remember is like a 7-year-old kid.
Yeah, it's hard to remember that.
Yeah.
Like it's like early memories, but like especially now we're in our I'm in my mid 20s. You're almost in your mid 20s. I guess you're kind of in your mid 20s. Yeah.
What the heck? Okay.
But yeah, so that's, I mean, for me, like my trip was almost 20 years ago, my first trip. So it's like, I'm amazed I can remember anything. But a lot of it had such a big impact on me that I do remember a fair amount.
That's cool.
But not really, honestly. Yeah, I'll kind of go into that, actually. I'll just start talking about that now. Okay. So in contrast to your first trip, you were talking about remembering flying to Florida. I'm assuming you guys you guys went to Florida to go to Disney, right?
Yes.
So you probably flew into MCO, into Orlando.
Yeah.
And so I did not. We drove.
Yeah.
That was my first big car trip.
From Colorado
to Florida. In 2005, we lived here. And I believe it was after my oldest brother graduated, I think. But I do remember that, I don't know, maybe he wasn't graduated yet, but he was driving with Mom. And the whole saga starts on the drive because the way we drive now is we drive through Kansas, straight through end to end. It's the most boring 12 hours of your life. And through Missouri, I think a little bit of Illinois, into Kentucky, Tennessee, Georgia, and then finally into Florida.
Wow. The
way we went in 2005, we went about halfway through Kansas, and then we started driving south, down towards Texas. And then I'm going to get these states in the wrong order, I think. Louisiana, Texas. What's over there?
Let me get a map.
Mississippi, Louisiana, think it's Texas. I feel like I'm so wrong here. I'm so bad at geography, but
same.
something like that. Texas. Texas to Mississippi.
Missouri.
No.
Yeah, Mississippi, right?
Into
Yeah,
Mississippi and then into Louisiana. And then through Louisiana into Georgia.
Well, that's actually
Is there
Texas,
another state?
Louisiana, then Missouri.
Okay, that's what I was asking a second ago.
I'm sorry, not Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah. And then
Alabama, then Georgia.
Then Georgia, yeah.
I forgot Alabama. My B. And then down into Florida from there.
Mm-hmm.
So we went a very different way than I'm used to now. And I don't really remember a lot about the drive, except that there was a moment where, if I'm remembering this correctly, the serpentine belt on the minivan we were driving broke. And we were stranded on the side of the road. Mom was able to pull off into a hotel parking lot.
What time was it?
I don't even know. Like after midnight. Like it was late.
Dark. Oh, dang,
yeah, it was dark. And I think that's my memory of it. And we ended up calling a tow truck because we were like, well, like we don't have a lot of time. Like we're on kind of a window here. And so we were like, we have to figure out how to get this fixed ASAP.
Dang.
And he comes up, the tow truck guy comes up, and Matt, my oldest brother, gets out with him. And they're looking at it, and like, I don't know if it was Matt's idea or if it was the tow truck driver's idea, but they decided they were going to screw with my mom. And he told her that they were going to have to tow it back to the shop, and it was going to take 5 days to fix it.
Oh my gosh.
And it was like a huge problem, and like
yeah.
And my mom's like kind of started freaking out, like because we weren't planning on we weren't planning on staying at a hotel for 5 days in I don't remember what state it was, but I want to say it was probably Texas. It might have been Missouri. Not Missouri. Oh my gosh, Mississippi. Yeah. But mom's like kind of started to freak out, and then the guy's just like, I'm just kidding, it's just a serpentine belt, and we were back on the road in like an hour.
Okay, good. Wow.
And so we ended up, so that is the only thing I remember about that drive, except being in, I can't even remember which state it was, but probably Louisiana. And there's this bridge that goes over a swamp, and it's huge. It's like 100 miles long or something like that. That's my memory again. Like I said before, a lot of this is just memory, and some of it's going to be so wrong. Yeah. But in my memory, this bridge is 100 miles long. That's and like hilarious. There's nowhere to stop to pee on it. Like once you get on this bridge, you're gone. You're staying on it till you get to the other side, which is why I think that 100 miles is wrong. But it could be. I don't know. It might be right. I don't know.
That's funny.
Anyway, so we ended up finally getting to Florida, where my grandpa lives, and where my aunt and uncle used to live, in Jacksonville. I remember very, very little about being at their house, except for a thing that got me in trouble, but I don't want to talk about that.
Have you ever told me?
No, probably
tell
not.
Me
yeah, maybe.
You can tell me.
But then I'm just going to fast forward to going to Disney.
Okay.
This is one of only 2 times in my life I remember doing this because of the way my family tackles Disney. We parked in the Magic Kingdom parking lot, and we approached the Transportation and Ticket Center, which didn't used to have security. You used to walk straight through. And then we were faced with the opportunity to ride the monorail or the ferry up to the front gates of Magic Kingdom, and we chose the ferry. And I remember being packed.
Really?
Like in my brain there was 10 million people on the boat. It was full.
Wow.
But I remember getting on the boat and like seeing the train station just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're getting closer and closer.
Nice. And
then finally we were there, we were finally at the Magic Kingdom. So I remember I don't really remember like the quintessential memory for people that go to Disney, walking under the train station and coming around Main Street USA and seeing the castle at the end of the road. Like, I do not remember that from that trip. I'm sure in the moment it was awesome. Yeah. But I don't really have a great memory of that happening, so that's kind of sad. But what I do have memory of is basically my mom. So we were there with my mom and her sister and her husband, my Uncle Dwayne. And then it was me, Caleb, and Jordan, for the most part, were being taken around Magic Kingdom by Uncle Dewey.
Nice.
Dewey and Dwayne are the same person, just in case anyone got confused there, because that was my bad. And so he was taking us around. He took us on Pirates of the Caribbean. I remember him taking us on the Jungle Cruise. He took us on Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. And that's where the next story begins. Was after we got off of Space Ranger Spin. He only has 2 hands, right? And there's 3 of us. Mm-hmm. So he's holding one of Jordan's hands and one of Caleb's hands. Mm-hmm. And I'm supposed to I'm the older one. I'm more responsible. I'm supposed to just follow them.
Oh my God.
Well, I got distracted by something
of course you did.
Shiny in Tomorrowland. And I swear it was like looking at something for a second and looking back.
Dang.
And he was gone.
Wow.
Like I could not see him anywhere.
That's a kid's worst nightmare. I remember getting lost in like grocery stores and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And that would scare me. I would be like, I'd start crying.
It's terrifying. Like in a grocery store, it's like it's small enough, they'll eventually find you.
Yeah, true.
But I was in an unfamiliar place. I was in the middle of Magic Kingdom, which I had never been in before.
That's
I wasn't in the middle of it, but I was in the middle of Tomorrowland. And I was like, I don't even know where he is. I don't even know where to start. Like, I could start walking one way, but I probably wouldn't find him.
Yeah.
And dang. I ended up finding a cast member and literally just standing next to the cast member.
Yeah, by the same, like you didn't move anywhere. You just.
Yeah, I mean, they were in the same general area,
yeah.
but I just stood by the cast member and he was like, "What's up, buddy?" And I was like, "I lost my uncle. Like, I don't know where he went." And he was like, "Well, what's he look like?" And I kind of gave a brief description, and he's like, "Is it this guy?" And Uncle Dewey was walking towards me, and they found me. But
that's funny.
it was only if I remember right, it was only like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like this is a 5-minute thing, but in my head it was hours. It was terrifying, and I thought I was lost, and I was gonna. See, here's the thing: Noah's biggest fear at that moment is Noah's dream right now. I thought I was going to get abandoned and lost in Disney World and live there for the rest of my life. That was terrifying when I was 8. Sounds like, or 7. That sounds like the best thing that could possibly happen to me right now. Hilarious. Not the abandonment part. I want you there, just for the record.
Just by yourself.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be fun. That would not be fun. I mean, it would be fun, but. So that was the most of the morning. I remember eating lunch at some point. I don't remember what I had or where we ate. Or if we really had lunch. We might have just had it out of a cooler for all I remember. I don't know. But at some point, I was moved from group Uncle Dewey and the 3 little boys, which is what we referred to us as at that time, to Uncle Dewey, his son, and my oldest brother. And it was the 4 of us. Nice. Because they wanted to do more big kid stuff. And I was like, I want to do more big kid stuff. And the boys wanted to go back to mom. Jordan and Caleb wanted to go back to mom. So I ended up with Uncle Dewey, his son, and my oldest brother.
Nice.
And we went on Splash Mountain. I don't remember where we were walking from, but we were walking from probably Main Street, USA, over to Frontierland to go towards Splash Mountain. And I started like pee-pee dancing like so bad.
No.
Like I had to pee so bad.
Oh no.
And Uncle Dewey was telling me all these stories about Splash Mountain and how fun it is and how wet it is and how you get so soaked at the end. And I was like he's just talking so much about water. I was like, I have to pee so bad.
Did you tell him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And he just kept talking about water.
Yes, because that's how Uncle Dewey was. He was messing with me. And see, retrospectively, he knew that the bathroom was right around the corner. It was like right there. Okay. But I did not know that. He kept telling me, he's like, well, the only bathroom is after you get off the ride, so we're gonna have to go on first.
Childhood drama.
Yeah. He kept telling me like we have to wait till after the ride to go to the bathroom, and I was freaking out. And I was so close to peeing my pants. Like I legitimately almost peed my pants.
I've had that happen before in my life.
Yeah.
That one. As an adult.
Maybe we need to be careful about the overshare here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna share.
Not me too though, honestly. Sometimes you're like, I can hold it, and then you're like, I can't hold it. But so we're walking down Frontierland, and then there's the bathroom that it's like in between Frontierland and Adventureland. It kind of connects the two. And it was right there. I had no idea. And then like we're going and I'm like, I'm going to pee my pants. And then I don't know. This is another one of those things where like, I don't remember if this happened or if this is a fabricated memory, but I remember him saying like, well, it's okay. Cause we'll go on Splash Mountain. You pee yourself, you go on Splash Mountain and then it'll wash you and you'll be clean.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I feel like that's
And then
what he was
like,
saying.
and then he's like, I'm just kidding. The bathroom's right here. And he had his son take me to the bathroom.
Nice.
And the first thing I remember walking into the bathroom was like, this is the largest bathroom I've been in my entire life. It felt huge. And it was also the first time I'd been into a bathroom where there was stalls and then there was a wall and then there was urinals and the sinks. Okay. And so I got lost because I couldn't figure out. It was only stalls and I was like, I don't need to use a stall. Again. I just need to pee. And then because I went in with his son, right? And his son knew where the urinals were and I didn't. And so he went through the door and I was like a few steps behind him and I went in the door and I didn't see where he went after that. And I was like, what the heck? And he comes out like on the other side, like, and he's like, over here, Noah. And I'm like, oh, bro, what? How'd you do that? So then I went pee and, went on Splash Mountain after that. And back in that time, Splash, now, well, not now, I guess, but most recently, Splash Mountain had a lap bar.
Okay.
Like you sit in and there's that bar that comes down over your lap. When I went in 2005, there was no lap bar.
It was just...
You sat down and you was in a log.
Huh.
And you just went. Huh. Basically the same thing, just no lap bar. And I remember at first that being scary because I was afraid when we hit the drop that I was going to fly out.
Yeah.
That didn't happen, obviously.
Yeah.
But I remember it being a huge fear.
I would be scared, yeah.
But yeah, and then I remember getting to the drop, being scared of the drop, and as soon as we were done with the drop, I wanted to do it again immediately.
Nice.
It was so much fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Your first core memory of a ride.
Yes. That's why I love Splash Mountain so much, and I'm so
awesome.
Heartbroken now. But I'm also excited to see what Tiana's Bayou Adventure brings.
Yeah.
Largely the same. I mean, it'd be the same ride, just different theming. So I'm excited still. And then fast forward into the evening. I can't remember anything between Splash Mountain and this moment. It could have been immediately after, like the reason I don't remember anything in the middle is because we got off Splash Mountain and started walking towards Space Mountain. But
I don't remember any rides, honestly.
You probably didn't ride a whole lot.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
Because you got old people for folks. But Patrick, oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
But Uncle Dewey's son and my oldest brother were hyping me up so bad to ride Space Mountain. And I got super excited about it.
The rocket ship?
Yeah. Okay. Space Mountain. Yeah. Not Astro Orbiters. Yeah. Space Mountain.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And I got so excited, right? Yeah. And we're going through the queue line and all this stuff. And then I think they're still there, but I can't remember because I don't really pay as much attention in the queues as I used to because of the Play Disney Parks app where you just play games while you're waiting in line so you don't notice how long it's going. But there are these screens in the queue that have like video of the train from like it's video of the train from the ride, but not really. And it's like going super fast around a corner and it's like floating. It's supposed to be like in space.
Okay.
And then my brother and my cousin kept telling me that that's real. Like that's the ride. Like you can see the ride right here. And like they hyped me up really good to get me to go on it. And then while we're in the queue, they're like starting to freak me out. Right. And so right at the last minute, like we're about to get on and I'm like, I need out of here. Get me out of this place. And what's weird is that in my memory, the way it worked is the queue just went up to like basically a railroad track in the middle of a big room. And like there was no queue up to it. Like it was just in a big room and it was just a railroad track and you just climbed on and you went. And so in my memory, I say I'm bailing and they took us across the railroad track. Yeah. Like I don't even know how to describe it properly. Yeah. But basically what my brain remembers is first of all, backwards from the way it is. It's like the room in my head is flipped around the wrong way. But it's also just like totally not how it works at all.
Interesting. Yeah, that's funny.
But I ended up bailing out and then we went, my uncle and I went into the gift shop and waited for my cousin and my brother to finally get out.
Okay, yeah. So they went.
They went. Yeah, of course they went on it, but I couldn't bail out on my own because I didn't know where I was going. So my uncle had to take me down.
Nice.
And I don't remember anything after that. And I'm pretty sure that's because after that we watched a parade and we went to our hotel.
Nice.
And we went to sleep. There's probably a million things that happened in the middle of that I cannot remember, but oh well. Then day 2, it was a 2-day trip. So we only got single day park passes. So we went to one park one day and one park another day, and that was it. Nice. And the second park we went to was Hollywood Studios.
I don't think I went to all parks too when I went.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I did.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mm-hmm. But so day 2 we were in Hollywood Studios, and I remember being told that it was like a more fun park because there's more rides. Well, maybe not more rides, but more thrilling rides. Mm-hmm. Namely, like Star Tours, Tower of Terror, and Rock and Roller Coaster. I'm pretty sure I rode Tower of Terror, but I can't remember for certain. And I know for a fact I rode Star Tours.
Nice.
But what I did not get to ride was Rock and Roller Coaster because I was too tiny.
Yeah.
I think I was 3 inches too short.
Oh.
Right? And in 2005, that was probably the last time Marcy was taller than me.
That's so funny.
And so Marcy was tall enough to ride Rock and Roller Coaster. And so it's funny because I guess Raylan was also in that group, but Marcy's been on the podcast more often, so she might be a little more recognizable. But I don't know. But so Marcy got to go on it, and we ended up going with Uncle Dewey and Aunt Lori and Mom and probably Caleb, Jordan, and Lauren. Mm-hmm. And we went on Star Tours probably twice. We watched Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Show Spectacular. I'll get to that in a minute.
Which is what I saw, right?
Yes. Yeah. And super cool. I'll get into that because
Star Tours?
No, Rock and Roller Coaster. So probably like 2 or 3 hours after we get into the park, if not more, we rejoin for lunch again. And again, I can't remember where we ate or if it was a cooler lunch thing. I don't remember that. But we get back together. The whole group gets back together, and Marcy and Raylan and my 2 other cousins are talking about how they went on Rock and Roller Coaster 7 times in a row. And I'm over here like, man, that sounds fun. I'm too sure. But yeah, that was that whole story.
Poor Noah.
Poor Noah. And then, of course, like I mentioned before, we went on Star Tours probably twice. And I remember walking through the queue and seeing R2-D2 and C-3PO. Now, granted, this is in 2005, where I wasn't as big of a Star Wars freak as I am now. But I do remember having watched The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones at this point, and being super excited. Well, of course, and A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Mm-hmm. So I've seen all the movies that were out at this point, with the exception, I think, of Revenge of the Sith, because if we did go in September, then Revenge of the Sith would have been out already. Yeah. But I didn't see that for a couple of years after, or probably another year after this.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with Star Tours, and it became like the thing I wanted to do all the time. I was the only one in the group. No one else wanted to ride it all the time. So it was kind of lame, but
you still do that.
I love like Star Tours, and this is why.
You could go on it like literally just like you get off and then go back again.
I mean, when we were in Disneyland, I did.
Yeah, you did.
3 times.
Yeah, because the standby line was literally like nothing, so.
Yeah, I might be the only person in the world who cares as much about that ride as I do, but I really love it.
I liked it more.
And especially now, Adventure Continues is way more easily doable for that. Like I could have done it with the original Star Tours, but now with Adventure Continues, I could do it.
Nice.
If I lived in Orlando, right, and we went to Disney whenever we wanted, I would get home from work. I probably wouldn't even actually get home from work. I'd drive straight to Disney. And I would just loop the queue at Star Tours for the rest of the day until it was time to go home. And it would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I would love it.
There you go.
And then another like core memory, I guess you could say, was the studio backlot tour, which doesn't exist now. When we went in 2022, it obviously wasn't there. It actually closed after my visit for my graduation in 2015. It closed. And so my graduation trip was the last time I got to ride that. And I really liked it. And honestly, like the backlot tour was kind of another driving force to getting me here. Seeing some of how the sausage is made, if you will, like getting to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. That's of cool. A Hollywood backlot and how they can do special effects. That's awesome. There's this one part of the backlot tour called Catastrophe Canyon, where you're in a tram. The tram is like part of the backlot tour, and you get in this tram and it drives you around looking at old set pieces like the Golden Girls house. And there's a couple other houses. I can't remember which ones though. And then a bunch of like vehicles that were used in movies. Unfortunately, the DeLorean from Back to the Future wasn't there, but there was a lot of other like random, like a UFO from a movie that I can't remember. Yeah. Inspector Gadget's car was there. Like there's all kinds of stuff. Nice. But you get to this part called Catastrophe Canyon, and you stop under this ridge, and there's an oil tanker filling up on the side of, or stuck on the side of a mountain, and it's supposed to be like them filming a scene for a movie. And the oil tanker explodes, and all this water starts gushing down, and it's it's supposed to be like, oh my God, we're gonna die. Not just kidding, that's part of it. Okay, let's go. But so yeah, that was cool. Dang, and then
that's cool.
Yeah. Lights, Motors, Action, Extreme Stunt Show. It's, from my information, it was opened when we went in 2005. Okay. But I don't remember watching it. That doesn't mean we didn't. Okay. But I don't remember if we did.
I remember something kind of. Lee reminded me of something. Kind of. I remember like the show. We watched a show where all I remember is in my core memory was at the end of the show, Donald Duck was like crashed into a wall.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's Mickey's PhilharMagic.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't think we watched that when we went, but I watched it in years past. Yeah, super cool. That's so funny too. I love that. Funny, yeah. Oh, I do also remember watching the Muppet Vision 3D when we were in Hollywood Studios, but and then I remember closer to the end of our evening. Not at the end, but closer to the end. We watched Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Show Spectacular as well, much like you did. And I remember thinking the exact same things that you were. Like, when Indy first drops down from the ceiling, you're like, that guy almost died. Yeah. He almost fell on the ground. But then you're kind of like, okay, that was obviously on purpose. And then he starts going, and then the spears start shooting up around his feet, right? And I remember thinking, like, oh my gosh, like that's amazing skill to be able to do that around real spears. And that was the mindset I was in, was like, this isn't real. Like, I knew it wasn't. I knew that like
I knew
it was planned out, and he was never going to get hit by the spear. But I thought it was down to like perfect timing and all this stuff. And like, and now I'm like, nah, if he missteps and that spear hits him, it's going to break. Like, it's designed to do that, or it's rubber, so it's just going to bend or flex or whatever. Like, this man's never going to get impaled by that thing. Like, even if he makes a mistake. But I do remember thinking a lot of things were like, oh my gosh, that was so scary. And like, they do this one part where they have a bunch of volunteers from the audience come down to be extras in the show. And one of the extras is actually planted by the cast. Like, he actually works for Disney. Oh, nice. Like, he's not actually a fan. Okay. And they bring him up front, and they're like, okay, well, we're gonna have you be the star of the next scene, and you're gonna die, basically. So I'm gonna beat you up, and then I'll have you die.
Okay.
And so, but what they started doing is they start making it look like they're actually beating the crap out of this guy, like not fake hits, like she's really punching him in the face. And then like he falls, and then there's one part where he falls straight back onto his back, and then he flips back up over his head and like rolls over.
Oh,
So he falls
that's funny.
with his back to the ground, and then he rolls over his
Actually, I
head.
think I remember
face
that now.
down. And then
you're
he
making
jumps
me
up.
remember it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
He
that's so
jumps
weird.
up and then they're like, we're just kidding. He works here. Like he's a
That
stunt
is-
man. He's
yeah.
part of the show. Like blah blah blah.
That's funny.
But
Wow.
yeah, I remember being so like convinced by that they were actually like beating the crap out of this random guy, and I'm like, this is what the
Wow.
heck.
You're like,
Yeah. And then there's a part where Marianne's the Jeep that Marianne's in explodes, and I was so confused how she was able to be in that Jeep that explodes and then walk out and she's not even burned, and
Yeah.
then later I realized that like she's never in it. Like
yeah, that's funny.
yeah.
All the tricks.
Yeah. And then the end of the night, I do distinctly remember watching Fantasmic, of course, and being blown away. And that's a big reason I think that I love Fantasmic so much.
Nice.
And I'm really disappointed that I haven't seen it since
I haven't seen it then.
2016.
Maybe I saw it when I was, but I don't remember it. I feel like I
Yeah.
would though. And I feel like I might have remembered seeing fireworks. I think
You
I
might have
did.
watched a fireworks show at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah. But
But
yeah.
it's different now.
So different.
But yeah.
But I can't wait to see it next time we go. So
Yeah, that'll be fun.
yeah. Well, that about sorts out my first trip from my memory. There's
No.
details in there that are going to be so wrong. There's details in there that are more correct than I realized.
You have a better memory than me, that's for sure.
I mean, I don't know.
'Cause I mean,
I feel like I was older. Like, I know you
Maybe
said you
you
were
were-
there when you were.
Okay, maybe I was.
7,
maybe I was
but
younger.
I feel like you were younger, but I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember. I need to ask my dad or mom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on. Well, next, we get to change pace a little bit. And we're going to talk about our first
Our
time going
honeymoon.
together. Yes, our honeymoon.
That was so fun. Like, I remember, so we had our wedding reception, and then it was like already like, what time did it end? 11?
I think I think we had to
10:30?
leave at 10:30.
Yeah, it was 10:30
because we
p.m.
got there earlier. We were
Yeah.
supposed to stay till 11, but we got there earlier than we were supposed
Yeah.
to, so we had to.
we
had
had
to leave earlier because
we
we
had
only reserved like 4 hours.
yeah, we had our wedding in Florida because I wanted to have a beach wedding, and Noah
Wanted a redneck wedding,
and
so we compromised and we gave her the beach wedding. No,
yeah.
no, but so it's kind of a mess to explain, but basically, she wanted a beach wedding, and so she left me to choose the beach, basically.
I didn't care.
I
about beach,
chose,
honestly.
I chose a stretch in Daytona, where they actually used to race NASCAR on the beach. It was on the
So
one or whatever the coastal highway or whatever it's called. No, that's in California. I think it's US 1 or something like that. And then they would go onto the beach. And so I had picked out a place that was on the beach where the cars used to race like 70 years ago.
That's so
But,
cool. Yeah. But
it ended up getting
That's
moved to Ponce Inlet, which is only like 5-10 minutes further south, but it kind of took that away a little bit. But it was still beautiful.
yeah,
So
it was gorgeous.
I got to a point where I was like, I don't care if it's exactly where I wanted it anymore. I just want my wife to be happy.
Aw.
So,
Hey.
and I think I did that.
Yes, you did. But yeah, we were in that general area. And how long did it take us to drive to her? So we left our reception
hour
at
and a
like
half,
10:30.
I think.
Yeah, and like
Back down to Disney.
I was like exhausted. I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, all the dancing. That was so fun.
You
But like I
were
also
up at
had
like 6:30, I think.
yeah, I also had adrenaline. I mean, I was excited, but you were like really excited.
I was amped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, I was like, I'm gonna try and sleep in the car, and you're like,
I
we're
was
driving straight
so
to
excited.
Disney World. Like, you were
Yeah.
so excited. Yeah, and then we got to our
First hotel, which was
Yeah.
so the way my family does things, especially because we don't typically fly to Orlando. I think I have a couple times, but for the most part, like we'll be in Florida for something and we'll just drive to Disney. Like my parents live there, so we would go from my parents' house and we just drive down there. So what we do is we stay in a off-property resort or hotel the night before, so that we can basically get to our hotel first thing in the morning, like 6-7 a.m., drop off our bags with bell services and start the check-in process so that when our room's ready, they'll take our bags straight up for us. Well, they used to. I don't think they might do that now. I don't remember. I don't think they did when we went. But so we stayed this day. I think it's a Days Inn.
Okay.
That's pretty close to Animal Kingdom, honestly.
Nice.
And so that's where we stayed the night before. We drove down from Ponce Inlet, or I guess it was Palm Coast, down to Orlando, and we checked into our little hotel. And
yeah, I fell asleep.
Is it cute? Then we went to sleep. But I had my alarm set. Shut up. Family friendly.
No.
I had my alarm set for the next morning at 5:30, and it was already after midnight. So I'm like, we're gonna sleep for like 2 minutes, and then we're gonna go.
Yeah, I remember. It was a cute little hotel too.
I liked. And I've grown very fond of that hotel at this point because we
That's awesome.
did it like every time for a while.
It was cute. And then the day came, and yeah, did we go through the sign? I don't think there was a.
Yeah,
we did. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's not the sign. There's a few of them.
Yeah. I remember that. And then we got to we did Hollywood Studios day one.
Yes. We stayed at Saratoga Springs, by the way.
Yeah, so
I wanted a really bougie place to stay for the honeymoon, and
that
was
a nice
I don't
place,
regret it one bit.
I don't regret it at all
but
either. Yeah, it was
I
nice.
won't probably ever stay there again because
unless
we don't spend enough time at the resort for it to matter.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, the one thing that I will say is it is really convenient if you want to go to downtown or Disney Springs a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you can walk there or you can ride the boat there. It's really close. Like when you're at Saratoga Springs, you're basically at Disney Springs.
Yeah.
It's across the lake.
Yeah, we went to Disney Springs our first day too, right? Or no? Or was that
no.
It was at the end?
No. Well, we went in the middle.
Or in the middle. Okay.
And then again at the end, like
after
we woke up after our last day, we checked out and we went to Disney Springs for like almost the entire day, and then we left and drove back to my parents.
Nice. Okay. But yeah, day one was Hollywood Studios.
Yes.
That was a fun time, and I just
I forgot to look.
Okay.
That's okay. Keep going.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I remember just like all the terminology that now I know, but like Noah would just keep like telling me like, oh my gosh, we gotta get up early because of like rope drop and all. I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and like all the queues and lightning lanes and which I highly recommend getting lightning lanes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's worth the price, honestly.
Yeah, maybe not for Animal Kingdom. I think that's like the general consensus is that like you almost never need it for Animal Kingdom.
Cool.
Unless you're going in the middle of the summer and like there's 20,000 people trying to get on every ride.
Yeah.
But even then it's like
you
might not need it.
Yeah, but we had like an alarm set and everything at like 6 a.m. You know, like okay, like Noah had his phone and I had my phone, and like we were both trying to get lightning lanes for different rides and stuff. And we got it, so that was good. Like literally right away. We were like 5 minutes before like we were able to do it. So we're up and so ready. We're ready.
Yeah, be ready.
Which was worth it. It was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you go ahead. I'll just like tell you my comments
Okay.
that I remember. But like you go ahead and tell the timeline because I have a bad memory.
It's all good. I want to start that again real quick.
Okay.
So yeah, basically, we woke up super early day one to go get to the hotel, check in early, get our bags dropped off. Because I'm the kind of person who like, if I can be inside the parks at 9 a.m. on my first day, I'm going to be in the parks at 9 a.m. on my first day. I don't want to say I don't like to waste time, but like I don't like to waste time. Like
my first impression
it feels like you lose money. Like that's that Disney like girl math or Disney math. Like if I get to the park 30 minutes late, I've wasted I don't know $4, you know, whatever.
Yeah, no, I totally feel that. But
so
yeah, like my first impression, just like with all like the cast members, and they're just so friendly, like overly friendly. And they were like, we go in and we check in, they're like, welcome home. And I was
that's my favorite part.
And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. That lady was so sweet.
Yeah, but they always have a smile. It's so cool. But yeah, so our first day we went to Hollywood Studios, and I believe, yes, because it wasn't open yet in 2017. It was still under construction because they had just closed it, the land it was on. So that was my first time getting to go to, it's not actually, it was my second time going to Galaxy's Edge. Because I went to Galaxy's Edge in 2021, right before.
Wait, didn't we go to the...
We did, yeah. So the first thing we did was go to the Tower of Terror.
Yeah, I wanted to get that out of the way because I thought
I was going to be scared
I thought I wasn't going to like it, and he was going to make me ride it. So I was like, oh, okay, might as well get it out of the way first. Yeah. But I actually ended up liking it. It was one of my favorite rides. So. It
was so fun. So yeah, we went on Tower of Terror immediately. And then we got off, and then right outside the exit for Hollywood Studios is a very convenient place, Joffrey's, with the donuts that are the size of your face. And I was so excited. And so we got off and we got a donut immediately. And did we go on Rock and Roller Coaster? I don't think we went on Rock and Roller Coaster after that.
No.
I think we went to Star Tours.
Okay, yeah.
I could probably if I dug deep enough, I might be able to get like exactly what we did. But yeah, we basically just spent the day hanging around, and
I remember seeing like the stormtroopers walking around. I thought it was so cool. I was like, oh my god.
Well, it was.
I mean, it was. Yeah, it was really cool.
It's so
I was like, oh my god, stormtrooper.
It's so exciting.
And like they were like, they're playing their roles and stuff, and so I'm like, oh, I'm sus.
to this day, I've never been stopped by a stormtrooper and questioned or anything, and it's like I must give off that first order.
That's so
that
funny.
First order vibe, so they don't stop me.
And I'm just here like, baby, take a picture of me. Take a picture of me.
So there were these stormtroopers,
and they just keep walking and ignoring me.
Yeah. Well, they were like talking to this little girl.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why don't just stand there and I'll make it look like they're talking to you. And so we got her a picture with stormtroopers, but even though they didn't give her the time of day.
I think I actually did get a kind of decent photo. Like he paused for a little bit, like with his gun up in the air, and I was just like, I think I had my blue milk in my hand.
Probably. That blue milk though. Oh my gosh, that was so good.
It was delicious.
Green milk can stay at home. I don't need that again. But the blue milk was delicious.
Yes.
Yeah. And then did we buy your Loungefly the first day?
We did, because I wanted to go all out the first day. I was so.
Oh man, we went so hard.
I was so ready to I don't know, just be basic, I guess. Like get all the cutesy things, like the ears.
Yeah, I mean, leading up to this trip, we spent hours watching allears.net.
Yeah.
And so they were talking about all the new Loungeflies that are coming out and all the cool things you can do. Like we were learning from Molly on how to fiddle faddle, which is what she calls refreshing the springboard to get better lightning lanes. Like if you're looking for a lightning lane at 4:15, but it's not available, but there's one at 6:30, just grab the one at 6:30, and then she calls it fiddle faddling to get one that's earlier, because someone will release it eventually. It's almost guaranteed.
Nice. Yeah.
So you were ready to be a
ready.
basic white girl at Disney, and I was ready for you to be. I was
all the pictures.
Yeah, I was so ready to just fully make you
the lanyard,
my Disney queen, and I did.
Yeah, with all the pins and stuff. All
super cute.
Which that was great. I took a lot of pictures.
Yeah. And then I think we park hopped immediately.
We went to
on our first day. I think we went to. No, actually, we didn't park hop the first day.
Did we stay at Hollywood?
We stayed at Hollywood Studios all the way till close. Because I wanted to spend a lot of time in Galaxy's Edge, and we did. Actually, it was because I had a reservation for Savi's workshop at
we made the
6 o'clock.
Yeah, we made droids.
And we had the Droid Depot reservation right before that. And we also had a dinner reservation at 50's Primetime Cafe.
Oh yeah, that was
right after I made the lightsaber.
I really liked that restaurant.
It's so good. It's my favorite one.
Yeah, it was delicious. The food, clean plate club.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
And the droids were fun to make too.
Yeah, if I remember right, we made the droids, and then we made my lightsaber, and then we had dinner, and then as soon as we were done with dinner, we beelined it to the buses to go back to the resort to drop off. No, we didn't actually. We kept the droids. No.
No, I think we dropped them.
We took them back to the hotel. We dropped them
because there was
no way. Yeah, we had so much stuff that first day.
Yeah.
We probably spent like $1,000 our first day. On food and everything, but oh my gosh, so wild.
Yeah, it was worth it.
And then our second day, I don't remember. I think we went to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I think we went to Magic Kingdom too. And I remember my feet hurting that first day, but then I got used to it pretty quick, and I'm glad that
I got you that moleskin.
I know, yeah.
Moleskin's a lifesaver in Disney World, guys. I'm telling you, if you don't have it in your go pack for Disney, get it.
Yeah, it's nice, and
just make sure you bring something you can cut it with that's not a knife, because they will take it away.
True.
Or better yet, get the pre-cut ones, because that's probably the easiest way to go. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, Magic Kingdom. I was excited to see the castle for the first time and seeing it.
Yeah.
And
I remember we got into the park and
Main
I
Street.
ran ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I didn't care about seeing the castle. I turned around and I wanted to see Adriana's face the first time she saw the castle.
Oh, what was my face like?
You were kind of awestruck. You definitely looked like you were wow, it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. And it was
genuine reaction.
Yeah. You were just definitely in awe of what you were seeing in front of your face.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I didn't remember it being that big, and just the walking up to it, Main Street USA I love it, and I'm really excited to go back again.
Yeah, so cool.
And because we've seen a bunch of videos, and I don't think we got popcorn from Main Street USA.
No, we didn't.
And I really want to try it because it's
the
so
candy
good.
popcorn
Yes.
from the
Yes,
we'll do that next time we go. That'll be the first thing we do. Okay, it's on the way in. We'll just stop there immediately and we'll get you your candy
and we
popcorn.
still haven't gotten the cinnamon.
Oh, the cinnamon roll from Gaston's. Yeah. They used to sell it at the Main Street Bakery, and it was the size of your face. It was huge.
That's so funny.
And now they sell one at Gaston's that's similar, but it's not quite as big, I don't think.
My favorite snack is the pretzel. Mickey pretzel.
The Mickey pretzel goes hard, especially in that warm cheese sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Or that plastic cheese. Plastic cheese. Yeah.
But yeah, Hollywood.
We had a lot of fun. I remember
a bunch of pictures.
One thing that I remember distinctly about that is that I was so excited to get a Mickey Mouse Rice Krispie treat.
Oh yeah.
And we go into the sweets. What was the sweet shop is called? The candy shop on Main Street. And I see one that's totally covered in chocolate, and I'm so excited. I'm that's the one I want. I ask for it. They put it in a little baggie for me, and we're heading off to Tomorrowland to go ride the People Mover while we eat our treats. And I take a bite out of it, and it was a marshmallow. Not a Rice Krispie treat. It was a straight marshmallow.
And he didn't want to tell me.
And I didn't want to tell her that I screwed up, so I just ate it and
it was expensive.
died inside.
Gosh, just eating it like a Rice Krispie.
Yeah, because it was so rich. It was so sugary, and I remember being I'm so glad we're on the People Mover, because if I was walking right now, I think I'd die.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
It was so funny. But I told her, what did I tell you? I think I told you after we got back home. We weren't even in, we got back to Colorado, and I finally told you that.
Yeah, I know.
Screwed that up.
That was funny.
Well, I was I'm not going to tell her that I messed up.
That's hilarious.
But yeah.
You're lucky I didn't ask for a bite.
Right? That's so funny. Well, I don't think I told you I wanted a Rice Krispie treat. Yeah. I just told you I wanted a treat in there, and I think you did take a bite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was just marshmallow, and you're like, that's good. I think you actually asked me are you sure you can eat all of that right now? That's a lot of sugar. And I was like, yeah, I got this.
Oh my God,
I think that happened.
That's funny.
But yeah, and then day 3, I believe, was our first day in Epcot, and that day started out so stressful because we woke up at 6:30 and got a lightning lane for Ratatouille's or Remy's Ratatouille adventure. And I got stressed because I never had it happen the first 2 days, and I didn't think it was really possible, but we ended up getting a lightning lane at 9:30. and the park opened at 9. And so it was like 30 minutes after open, like we were supposed to be getting on.
Yeah, and we couldn't get a bus to Epcot. Like we thought we got up early enough. Or was it me? Was it was it me who messed up? What did I do?
You left your pins and your magic band in the room, and at Saratoga Springs, like you have to go to the bus loop, and like you have to take an internal bus. No, actually, it wasn't an internal bus anymore. But you have to get on a bus that then goes around the entire resort to like 4 or 5 other stops, and then you go to Epcot. And they weren't running terribly frequently. Like it was once every like 20 minutes a bus would show up.
Yeah. So I realized I didn't have it.
Yeah.
Kind of late. Yeah.
We were like at the bus stop, and the Epcot bus had just pulled up, and she was like, I don't have my magic band or my pins.
That was really frustrating.
And so I kind of was like, okay, well, do we have a way for her to get into the park without the magic band? And I don't think you could use your, well, you might have been able to. We didn't have it set up, and I didn't know. So I just booked it back to our room, and I ran up and grabbed her magic band and pins and ran back down as the bus was pulling away. And I'm like, they couldn't have waited like 2 seconds.
I know, that was really frustrating.
So we sat at our bus stop for another 20 minutes and waited for them to drop, waited for another bus to come. And we get to the park. And like when you make a lightning lane and you have it at 9:30, it's good till 10:30. We walked in the front gates of Epcot at 9:24. And so I'm like, oh my God, we have 6 minutes to get to the back of the park.
He didn't know that. Yeah, they would accept.
I wasn't sure if they would, because like it was a brand new attraction at the time. And so like with the newer attractions, they're a little bit tighter most of the time.
Yeah.
So you're not allowed to run in Disney. So we are super hardcore speed walking.
Yeah.
And I started getting shin splints. And I was on the verge of like just breaking down because it hurt so bad. But I was like, we have to get, and like, I was like, we have to get there in the next, at this point is like 2 minutes. Like we have less than 120 seconds
I wish I could have carried you, honestly.
And we're just,
I felt so bad.
Yeah. I was like killing myself almost to get there. And we get there and my clock says 10:31. And I'm like, oh my God, we missed it. And we're like,
you gave up. Like you were like,
I kind of was like, oh my God, we missed it. Like,
but I was like, I was thinking positive.
Yeah.
Still, and I was like, let's still try.
She walked up to the cast member and she's like, we had a lightning lane that literally expired a minute ago. And they're like, dude, it's just scan in. Let's go.
Yeah.
And so I'm over here like, if I knew that I didn't have to kill myself walking over here, I wouldn't have. But lesson learned. It hurt though. Like I remember sitting down on the ride and being so relieved to finally be off my feet. Like, it hurt so bad. But then I never had a problem again. Like, the entire time we were there. For the next 3 days, I never, or 2 days, I never had another issue with, like, shin splints. But we also never cut anything that close again.
Yeah, that was a time.
Yeah, it was. I don't really remember much else in Epcot.
I mean, I remember eating, like, a bunch of just, like, little foods.
I think we went to Beer Garden that day.
Yeah, we went, and that was a really cool experience. I really liked the food there. Really delicious food. Really entertaining.
And then we probably just went and did other stuff. I'm sure we rode Soarin'. I'm sure we rode... Oh, I do remember riding the journey, or not journey, Under the Sea with Nemo and Friends. Or the Seas with Nemo and Friends. That's what it's called.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I remember we were like, as we got done, we went to the Sea Turtle Talk with Crush, and we were getting ready to walk out, and it was a torrential downpour, like one of those classic Florida rainstorms. It was just out of nowhere. It was just raining like crazy. And we had bought these ponchos from Walmart before we went, and I actually got excited when I saw it was raining outside, because like we get to wear our ponchos that we spent $12 on.
I know, that was funny.
And it's
actually, I think we didn't even wear our ponchos.
We did. We put them on and we went over to the...
We only wore our ponchos when it was like barely started to rain. Because we didn't...
No, it was raining pretty good when we did
day,
it.
I thought.
No.
Oh, well.
It was that day.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I don't even really remember, but I think the next day we went to Animal Kingdom. And I don't really remember much about Animal Kingdom. We went on the Kilimanjaro Safari, of course. That was
fun. Yeah, I liked that. I love seeing all the animals.
But on Kilimanjaro Safari topic, they just had, well, they didn't just have their baby. There's a baby born in October that just got let out into the attraction. It's no copy.
What is that?
It's like the horse-ish look. It's like the giraffe-headed horse that has the rear end of a zebra.
Oh.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah.
It's like they're like brown, but they have
Yeah.
they have like the same little horns on their head as giraffes, but then their rear end looks like a zebra.
That's so funny.
Those are the okapis, but they just had a baby in October, and
Oh.
he just got to debut, and his name's
so
Elijah, I
cute.
believe,
That's
which
so
is super
cute.
cool.
That's awesome.
Anyway, super random, but
Yeah, that's awesome.
Animal
Yeah,
Kingdom is
that
my
was fun.
least favorite park, so
Oh, yeah, we
I
were not
don't
there
really
for
ever
that
have a lot to
long.
talk about. We did not stay there for a whole day. I know we went on the what's it called?
Oh, I remember
Flight of
Epcot
Passage.
too. I remember in Epcot too. This was sorry, but I remember Epcot like at night. It was already like the sun was already down, and they started playing a show, Harmonious, and I kind of wanted to stay, but like no one was like, okay, this is our chance to ride more rides because everyone like the lines are.
No, because at Epcot when the show starts, they turn the rides get shut down.
Oh, but
yeah. I just wanted to leave.
you wanted to just leave to go to a different
Yeah.
park to.
No, I want. Maybe I did. Maybe we were going back to Magic Kingdom because they were open till 1 a.m. that night for hotel guests,
Oh,
for like property guests.
Okay.
I
I wanted to watch fireworks, but I mean, we kind of did.
wish I had stayed and let you watch it. I feel
No, it's
bad.
okay.
But the
But
other thing is like
then
if
I
you
got
wait till the park closes, like it is a pain to get back on your bus.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to just ride back in comfort and
so, like,
not worry about it.
And I mean, it's fireworks at the end of the day too, so I didn't really care that much. But then I got my opportunity to see fireworks. Was it later that, or was it Disneyland?
I mean, we made an absolute point to watch a fireworks show in Disneyland.
Yeah.
But I think we also did watch fireworks at Magic Kingdom when we were there. Our last night that we were at Magic Kingdom, we watched the fireworks, but kind of by way of walking to other things.
Okay. Yeah.
And then same thing in Hollywood Studios on our last night.
Okay.
We walked by the fireworks show that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Super fun.
Yeah. But yeah, then we went to Magic Kingdom or Animal Kingdom, and then last
we
day
didn't do a lot there.
Oh, I remember the drink that we had.
The drink?
Yeah, that was a yummy drink. I have
Which
a picture
one?
of me drinking the drink, the blue drink, a slushy drink. It was a adult beverage. I'm gonna show you right now, but
You should show me because I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
but you enjoyed that drink too. We had a
Well,
drink.
of course I did.
I mean, it was
boozy.
hot. It was hot.
It was always
that
hot.
Day. Yeah, I mean, it was really hot because we went in the middle of July, so we were like sweating.
Not a great time to go, especially for crowds.
His mullet was popping.
I had it tied back most of the time because I could not stand to have that on my neck. I missed the mullet, but in Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, when you didn't tip the bartender and she got mad.
I don't know what I was
she
thinking.
had such an. I felt bad because I wanted to go back and like be like, "Can I please put a tip on that?" Like she didn't realize she didn't, and she like had such an attitude about it. She's like, "I already closed it," and just kind of brushed me off. And I was like, "Well, I guess we won't be coming back over here then." Bye.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, she was mad. That was the only time I've ever in my life seen a cast member not smile.
Dang.
But you know,
Yeah,
when you're a bartender and you work for tips, I can understand that.
I don't know. I was just blank signing. I don't know why I didn't tip.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's
okay.
fine. That was a mistake anyway.
It happens. It's all good. Yeah, but overall, like it was just an amazing trip, and like I said, I'd been so many times in my life that like I'm never numb to Disney, but nothing. It's very rare that like things are new, but it's still wonderful, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was really cool to get to watch you react to things for the first time.
No, yeah, and meeting princesses. We've heard about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I met
You got to meet Cinderella and Tatiana. Not
too.
Tatiana.
Tiana.
And you also met Ariel and
Rapunzel.
Rapunzel. That's who the other one was.
Yeah.
It was just those four. And then the stepsisters.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so cool to just watch you like
No.
see all this stuff for the first time. And like I love seeing all this stuff, but like it was also really cool to see a woman that I care so much about and love so much like having the same love, showing the same love for another thing that I love so much. Like if you hated it, oh my gosh, babe.
Is a deal breaker?
No, never a deal breaker, but I would probably be spending a lot of time flying to Orlando.
That wouldn't.
But you love it, so it's fine. It doesn't matter. You don't need to ask the what if because there's no what if. But yeah, I think that's enough. I don't know how much more. And we could go into way more detail because that was more recent.
The Ronto rap. We have to talk about the Ronto rap.
Ronto rap.
That's just the last thing we have to talk about.
Freaking Ronto
That
rocked.
That was the first time we both tried it, right?
Yes.
It was in Hollywood. I think that was the last day.
It was.
Yeah.
Which I don't know.
We went back to Hollywood Studios again, right? The last day?
It was. Yes, because we had lunch at 50's Prime Time, so
and
it totally wasn't
maybe we'll post a picture of just
we will
how
absolutely
I was
post that
starving
picture.
because no one took me a picture of me.
I love
just
this
like,
picture.
I was just like in the moment, just about. I think did I even take a bite out of it? Or was that my first bite? I don't know.
I think you were in the process of taking your first bite.
Okay,
I don't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But like
it was so cute.
It was so
Speaking
good.
of Ronto wraps, can we please make them for dinner next week?
Yes, because
I've got a hankering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good. Awesome.
Yeah, that was delicious.
I love the Ronto wrap. Like,
it was really, really good.
Anytime I'm in.
We were starving too.
Yeah. It has become like if I am in a park that serves them, so like if I'm in Hollywood Studios in Disney World, or if we're in Disneyland Park in Disneyland, that's what I'm having for lunch. Is the Ronto wrap.
Yeah, so good.
Because they're so good.
And not that expensive making them here.
Too. And yeah, they're pretty relatively speaking affordable.
Yeah.
Pair that with a nice glass of blue milk and I freaking love Star Wars. So anytime I can eat something and pretend it's like, oh, this is real Star Wars cuisine. It's so good.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
I'm looking forward to our next Disney trip.
Me too.
And
I hope it's soon. I hope it's super soon. Disney cruise is going to be awesome.
Our first time ever Disney cruise. That'll be fun.
I can't wait for that. But I can't wait more to go to Disney World. So we have to do that first. I want to go tomorrow, but yeah. I think that does it. We could, like I said, we could go on for hours on this, but because it's more recent and we are older, so we have better memory. But we'll call it there for now. Because it's getting late. And yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed hearing our accounts of our first times in Disney World and then our first time doing it as a couple. It's such a different thing. Like going with your family is one thing, and then going with your wife or husband or significant other is a totally different thing. Doing it on your honeymoon, I highly recommend. Like if any of you guys are out there like getting married soon and you don't wear your honeymoon, highly recommend it. It's the most magical place on earth. I'm actually wearing a shirt. I'll show the YouTube audience that I designed. Oh yeah, gosh.
You're wearing it.
Yeah, so I'll show it to the YouTube audience. If you are listening, we'll post it on the Instagram. But I designed it. I can't remember exactly what it says everywhere, but it says the most magical honeymoon on earth, because Disney World is the most magical place on earth. And then it says like Noah and Adriana established July 2011th, July 11th, 20. And I put 2021 on the shirt.
Yeah, because that's when
we got married a year before we actually had our ceremony. Yeah, but and then it's like
we have in the ears it says we have a special word we made up long ago.
Oh, I totally forgot about that.
Or what does it say?
It's the poem. I put a poem on it that I wrote.
We have a special word we made up long ago. The headphones like blocking it. A way to say I love you that no one understands. I think that's what it says.
Is that what I wrote?
I think so.
That doesn't rhyme. I could have swore I could have swore when I wrote it was we made a special what is it like we have a special word we made up long ago, a way to say I love you that no one else would know.
Oh, maybe.
That's definitely not what it says, but that's what I thought it said. But no, you said that no one understands, and I'm like, why didn't I put the poem on? What the heck?
That's so funny. You used to write a lot of love poems when we first started dating, and like when I was like 13, he was 15, which it's a
story for another time.
Yeah.
or a story for a pastime if you go back at some of our archived videos back from the day.
Anyway.
But anyway, like I said, we'll be posting a picture of the shirt on Instagram. So if you're not following us over there, go ahead and do it. You can find it by searching for at Noah Parker's World of Wonder. You can do the same thing on TikTok at Noah Parker's World of Wonder, and that'll take you to our TikTok page where Adriana posts lovely TikToks, little clips from the show that, you can just catch every now and again. And I also have plans to start doing like once a week, I hope, some kind of like purpose filmed TikTok, like be more on purpose with it and not just like, okay, we'll pull that clip out, but that's for another time. And then you can also find us on YouTube if you're listening, by going to youtube.com/Noah Parker _channel. Yes, I got it. Or you can search for at Noah Parker _channel in the search bar if you're on your mobile device. The podcast is also available on all major podcast platforms. If you are watching and you want the audio only option, you can also get an audio only option here on YouTube. There's a special place for that. And next week's episode, we have Smart House with Marcy. So it's time for another DCOM coming up right around the corner. And I'm pretty excited for this one because I remember being 100% convinced watching Smart House as a kid that was the life I was going to live.
Nice.
And it is not totally non-existent, but it's way not what it was. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to hang out with Marcy again. And I think that about does it. Do you have anything you'd like to say finally? No? Right on, guys. Well, until Smart House, let the wonder take hold.